Barineau Heating and Air Friday Night Rivals, presented by Consolidated Dispatch Agency, is coming to you live from a rainy Gamecock Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida, where tonight's matchup is the Rickards Raiders hosting the Chiles Timberwolves. Hi, everyone. I'm Ben Cinco. Emily Peters is our sideline reporter. Will be joining us shortly. And with me in the booth, as always, is going to be Eric Llewellyn. Eric, both these teams disappointing losses last week. Rickards went to Mosley and lost. We saw Chiles on Friday Night Rivals take a loss to Wakulla. What are the keys for each team if they expect to win tonight?
Well, I think for Chiles, they've got to get that downhill running game going. That was when they were most efficient last week against Wakulla, running that ball inside. I think they've got to get back to that tonight. I think for Rickards, if Taylor Jacobs, when he drops back, they've got to try to keep him in the pocket. He likes to get out of the pocket and does a good job creating both with his arm and his legs. They've got to keep him from doing that.
Okay, and how about a key player for each team?
Yeah, I think for Rickards, you got to go with Jalen Wiggins, the big guy on the outside on defense, and he's going to be one of those guys responsible for trying to keep Taylor Jacobs in that pocket. And I think for Chiles, going back to the running game and downhill, Jalen Jones is the guy, 11 carries, 61 yards last week. They need to stick to that this week.
Awesome. Well, the exciting action kicks off next on Friday Night Rivals on Tallahassee CW. Welcome back to Gamecock Stadium, Tallahassee, Florida. Ben Cinco, Eric Llewellyn in the dry booth. Emily Peters on the wet field. Emily, how are you tonight?
Well, Ben, there's no need to rub it in that you guys are in the dry booth. I'm out here. It's not too bad. We've dealt with the rain before. But, guys, Rickards has a huge opportunity out here tonight, kind of piggybacking off of Eric's keys to the games. I spoke with Quentin Lewis, head coach of the Raiders, and he said, we got to establish our running game, and in return, we have to control the running game. That's something we had trouble with last week, and they've got some young receivers who are young and developing, and they're playing well. And if we can get the backs in the game, we'll really be doing something offensively. Something else Coach Lewis said was critical for his team tonight is to believe that they can win from beginning to end. He said we're a young team, and with that, some emotions can be up and down, but he's worked a lot with them this week to prepare for this team individually, and he said, Chiles beat us last year. If that's not enough motivation to win this game, I don't know what is. So, Ben, a huge opportunity for the Raiders out here tonight.
Sure is. Those backs you were referring to, number 11 Carlise Price and Ezekiel Kelly. So look to see how they perform tonight against this stout Chiles defense. Raiders taking the field. They're the home team. Suffered a loss last week. Mosley 35-7. Tough conditions. Got to go on the road to play. Their first loss of the season. Again, as I mentioned in the opener, we saw Chiles last week. Tough loss for them, 17-14, Eric.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that game, when you look at the score, it seems kind of similar to what we saw with those two teams last year, but it really felt like a different game. Last year, I felt like Chiles, that was a game that was there for their taking. I don't know that I really felt that way last week with the way they played against Wakulla. So a good opportunity for them to bounce back here this week against Rickards. Again, going back to last year, team that they did beat last year. And we'll see how they go about trying to do that here tonight.
I'm going to be interested to see if Bryson Floyd is playing tonight for Chiles. Meant to check on that before we got started, but we kind of had an abbreviated open because of the weather conditions. So got binoculars on. We'll see if he takes the field on defense tonight. Chiles will be starting on offense, it looks like.
Well, that was last week. One of the reasons we called Alex Asantez's name quite a bit last week, and that was one of the reasons why, is because of Floyd's absence. So he's certainly their stalwart on defense and a guy they'd like to get back out there.
Irvin Menjivar getting ready to have the first shoebox kickoff of the evening. Holton Harris back to return. End over end into the end zone for a touchback. Let's go ahead and get a look at the starters for tonight. Jacobs, Cadet, Clark, Matthews, Fryer, Jacobs, Trevor Jacobs, Farmer, Roden, Bryce, Lundy, and Herring for Chiles. Rickards defense, Moore, Rivera, Wiggins, Mango, Walker, Brown, McClinton, Townsend, Andrews, Jones, and Walker Jr. Those are Consolidated Dispatch Agency starting lineups.
Gerald Clark is another one of those guys that they can use running inside that they had success with last week. You see him back there to Taylor Jacobs' left. And there's our first offsides penalty drawn by the Chiles offensive line, I believe.
We saw some of those last week. So an easy 5 for Chiles to get things started.
Every game we get Chiles, we see multiple of those. I think we had 3 last week, I believe.
A couple in the first half.
First 2 plays.
Well, Jacobs going to hand the ball off. Clark gets ahead, dives ahead for our first. Anderson and Hart first down of the game. Anderson and Hart, because you matter.
You've got a big offensive line. You've got an experienced offensive line. You've got a couple of good-sized back in Clark and Jalen Jones. And go ahead and take advantage of that and run downhill.
Credit Clark for a gain of 7 on that play. So 1st and 10. Jacobs with Jalen Jones in the backfield. Jones will take that handoff and gets rustled down right about the line of scrimmage. Good play by the Raiders defense. Jalen Wiggins and others able to bring him down.
Actually, good second effort there. He ended up picking up almost 5 yards, got 4. Despite that contact really at the line of scrimmage.
That's what I get for watching the play from my binoculars. I'm going to utilize this nice screen in front of us.
Well, you don't want to do that either. Then you'll be way behind.
2nd and 5. Clark dives ahead. Good enough for another Timberwolves first down.
Well, so far, Chiles sticking with that inside running game. Mentioned Jalen Jones last week, 11 carries, 61 yards. We saw him 2 years ago in a substitute role and a fill-in role, and he was outstanding. Then we didn't play at all last year, but has been very good in that backfield for Chiles this year.
Jacobs rolling to his left, looking for a receiver, sees receiver, and not able to make the completion. Trying to get the ball to his brother, Trevor Jacobs. Just a little too far out ahead of him. So 2nd and 10 for the Timberwolves.
Jalen Jones back in there now in the backfield. Sidecar action there with Taylor Jacobs.
Almost got another offside call. Jones gets ahead, gets 10 yards, 13 yards, a big gain for another Timberwolves first down.
Enough for a first down for the Timberwolves.
Ball now all the way out to the Rickards 42-yard line. Good look here, Jalen Jones.
Well, and Emily mentioned it before the start of this one. Quentin Lewis said they've got to do a better job stopping the run this week than they did last week. And so far, Chiles has run it very effectively. All of their positive yards to this point have been on the ground and on inside runs.
And last week, they allowed 281 rushing yards, 7.6 yards a carry.
That was a great catch there by Brady Van Landingham.
2-yard grab, bring up a 2nd down and 8 from the Rickards 40-yard line. Should get a good look at Van Landingham's catch. Oh, yeah.
Nice. That's a tough one. As a player, you're going up like that, and you're just assuming that you're going to take a big hit in that situation. So you've got to kind of grit the teeth and understand that's going to happen and just pull that ball in anyway. Not making the catch isn't going to make the hit feel any better.
Jones switches direction a couple times, gets ahead for a gain of about 2, maybe 3 yards there on the play. They'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
Brings up a 3rd down.
Good little move there right when he took the ball.
Raiders.
So 3 receivers to Taylor Jacobs left. Jacobs will roll that way. Firing the ball downfield. Has a receiver. Not able to bring the ball in. He delivered it where it needed to be.
Thomas Matthews was the intended receiver. And that's one, you know, these are not the ideal conditions to be catching passes, but you've got to pull that one in on a 3rd and 5. You've got to make a big play there. In spite of the conditions that, like I said, a little wet out there, but you got to make that catch.
Timberwolves going to keep their offense on the field. 4th and 5 from the Rickards 37-yard line.
Watch for that movement by the offensive line down into stances. Nope, they don't do it there.
Jacobs looking left. A little tall for the receiver. Not able to make the completion. Turnover on downs. Big play there for Rickards. Able to get the ball in nice starting field position. That's what we have. Well, let's go ahead and get a look at the starting offense for the Rickards Raiders. We got Henry, Price, Crumity, Saylor, Johnson, Kelly, Davis, Ward, Shelton, Green, and Studevant. For the Chiles Timberwolves on defense, Strozer, Tromben, Lewis, Montez, Asantes, McCants, Harris, Mitchell, McNeely, Ravel, and Douglas. And I am seeing Bryson Floyd on the field. It's a big, if he's able to perform like typical, that's a big win for Chiles tonight. He makes the play.
On the first tackle.
TFL. Let's see where they spot it. Might be right at the line of scrimmage. Nope.
That's going to move him back about a yard. So
Bryson Floyd making his presence known immediately.
Hand injury, and you'll see a big on his left hand. I don't know that I want to call it a cast so much, but he's got it pretty heavily wrapped up.
2nd and long. We've got the handoff falling ahead to about the 41-yard line. Trying to see who that carrier is.
That is Andreas Green.
Andreas Green. Okay. So 3rd and 6 now for the Raiders from their own 41-yard line.
The navy blue numbers on the gray jerseys not ideal from up where we are to see numbers on players' jerseys.
Fakes the handoff, and pass goes incomplete, out of bounds. Trying to make the connection with Philip Stewart II. So 3 and out for the Raiders on their first offensive drive of the game.
Talking about Floyd and that hand wrapped up as he leaves the field here for the punt. We saw him last week with a plastic bag around the hand, trying to keep it dry. What he had protecting that hand when he wasn't dressed out last week.
Holton Harris and Thomas Matthews await the punt. Chris Turner will be putting foot to leather on this one. End over end, heading out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to mark this one. I'm going to call it at the 20. Well, no, he's marching about. We'll get this figured out when we come back from break. 7:26 to go. Friday Night Rivals on Tallahassee CW.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Awards for You. Encourage, recognize, celebrate.
We're back at Gene Cox Stadium. Still drizzling a little bit, not nearly as bad as before the game got started. We're actually under a little bit of lightning warning. We're a little concerned that kickoff might not happen on time. Thankfully, that did not happen. So after that punt, they're spotting the ball at the Chiles 31-yard line. That's where they will begin their second drive of the ball game. They're able to get the ball downfield into the Rickards territory, but turned the ball over on downs their first time.
They had to, pleased with how they were able to move the ball, but then how they stalled out. That's something they've got to get figured out. Flag down. That's probably going to be a hold on Chiles.
Joe Clark able to fall ahead for a yard, but let's see what the officials had to say about this.
Got to be able to finish those drives when you're able to move the ball like that. I didn't see what he signaled there.
I didn't either, but they're marching off a...
I mean, I saw him pointing at Chiles. I never saw the signal prior to that.
Oh.
It's a rather substantial penalty.
Yes. So 15 yards on the penalty. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line.
And if we suck, I'm going to be like...
Obvious issues with 1st and 25. It really takes you out of the things that you like to do offensively on 1st down.
Jacobs trying to hit Clark out of the backfield. Rickards says
Jalen Wiggins gets a mid on it.
Yep. Wiggins yells denied.
Oh, so you do have that. So it's going to like walk on?
He looks like a giant out there.
6'5", 250. Was reading up on him on one of those scouting services. They talk about his build and how, he's the kind of guy that they project him to be a nice size defensive tackle in college. He's got a nice size right now, but when he fills out, he should be a real nice 5 technique defensive tackle.
Oh damn! Yeah. That one is not gonna. That's not gonna.
Flag down.
All right, well, we got this moment. Let's go ahead and send it down to Emily Peters.
Yeah, you talk about Jalen Wiggins and a guy that Coach Lewis is so high on. He's got over 20 Division I offers, and he's just a guy that is finally enjoying playing football. It's kind of a lot of the pressure off of him. A lot of the pressure that has been on him is off of him this year, and he's able to just have fun with his teammates. He's become a lot more vocal and playful this year, and it's just really cool for Coach Lewis to see him enjoy his senior year.
So after a 5-yard penalty, we've got a 2nd down run. Clark gets out of bounds about the 23-yard line, but a penalty flag comes out right around where the tackle was made. And that'll be a holding call. So another penalty for Rickards.
Chiles can't get out of their own way on this drive.
Ball now marked just inside their own 10-yard line. Started this drive out at their own 31.
Now we in business.
Guess lucky for them, it's only 2nd down, Eric.
And 36.
Could be 3rd. Got a bright side it. Jacobs going to carry the ball. He's got some room to the 20 and out of bounds about the 23.5-yard line. We'll call it the 24-yard line. Gain of 14 on that play.
Well, I talked before the game about trying to keep him in the pocket where you can limit those opportunities for him. In this case, the pocket just kind of disappeared. He got flushed, but there's nobody up the middle. And that's where you've got to keep those rushing lanes intact, and you can't just leave your lane and try to freelance it and try to get back there quicker. You've got to understand that you've got to stay home to make sure he doesn't get an opportunity to make a play like that, which gets him to 3rd and 26 now.
So trips receivers on the left, one on the right. Jacobs will roll to the left, firing the ball downfield, trying to get the fire, but it's going to be intercepted. Fryer makes the tackle down at the Rickards 39-yard line.
Number 28, Andrew.
All right, we'll go ahead and send it to break. No score from Gene Cox Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. Welcome back. Roy Andrews able to corral that ball for a Rickards interception. The Raiders will start off at their own 39 for their 2nd drive of this ball game.
It's a turnover, and you don't ever want to have those, but on a 3rd and 26 play to throw a ball 40 yards downfield and get it picked off, it's not a huge penalty when you figure the next play is probably going to end up being a punt. So you're trading that interception essentially for a punt. And again, not costly. You don't ever want to turn the ball over, but in that situation, it's not a terrible turnover by any means.
Okay, out of the backfield, that's Carlos Roll able to get the ball. Let's see where they're going to spot this. Just shy of the 1st down, so a 9-yard run there. Aaron Johnson thought it was number 1, but it looked like it was number 7. Get that Aaron Johnson for 9 yards, 2nd and 1 for the Raiders. That's Green getting around the end, getting downfield. 30, 20, down to about the 11-yard line. There is a flag back in the backfield. We'll see.
And I think this is coming back. It is. It's going to be a hold on Rickards.
That will negate the Andreas Green long run.
So far, a penalty-filled first quarter.
6:12 to go. Water break called on the field. Let's go ahead and get a look at, see if we can see that hold call. Is that right there?
Probably a couple of guys, they could have flagged that one.
Chiles breathing a sigh of relief. Negates that 40-plus yard run by Andreas Green.
Got a little rainbow here at Gene Cox.
Good to see. We definitely had weather concerns earlier. Hopefully this should keep off for the rest of the evening. That was a good shot of the rainbow. Thanks, guys. Second and 11 for the Raiders. Ben Henry with Carlise Price in the backfield. Price will take the carry, gets around the end. Gonna get that first down and more. Heading on downfield. He did not step out, folks. Touchdown, Raiders! Carlise Price, 61 yards on that touchdown. Weston Trawick touchdown. Weston Trawick Communications, building, connecting, powering 24/7.
Good block there on the edge. And then he just beat everybody to the corner. Price showing good speed there.
That's what Quentin Lewis was talking about, getting that run game going. Price has had some success this year. Opened up against Gabi with 85 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Menjivar's extra point up. And good. Your score, Rickards 7, Chiles 0. Yep, Price 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, game 1. Game 2, 8 carries, 74 yards. Last week it was tough to find stats on. Those road games don't get a lot of coverage over here. But it doesn't look like, well, as Coach Lewis was saying before the game, they just didn't get the running game going. So got to be feeling good right now if you're a Raiders fan. See Price down there getting a little swag to celebrate.
Well, now Chiles has got to answer, and the first thing they've got to do is get out of their own way. First drive, they had success running the football, running in the middle of the field. Weren't able to finish that drive off, and then they really hurt themselves with penalties in that second drive. So now they find themselves on the short end of the scoreboard, and they're going to need to see if they can come up with an answer here.
Menjivar getting ready to kick the ball off. Harris and Matthews back deep to return. Here's the shoebox kickoff. The shoebox, home of the happy feet. Into the end zone. Another touchback. Touchback number 10 on the season for Menjivar. So we'll see how Chiles' offense will respond to that Carlise Price touchdown run.
Now it looks like we've got Clark and Jones in the backfield there with Taylor Jacobs.
That's Jones trying to get around the edge, not able to do so. Big play in the backfield by the Raiders.
Good penetration there by Zachariah McClinton.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Shooting the gap there from his linebacker spot. Coming coming up with the tackle for a loss.
Ring continues to stick around. Second and long. 3 receivers to the right. Jones takes the handoff to the left. Gets past the line of scrimmage. Falls ahead. Gain about 7 on the play.
Not showing fear as far as running to that side of Jalen Wiggins where he plays defensive end. They were able to get the ball outside and cut it up the sidelines for a nice gain there, and to get them into a 3rd and manageable here. Nope, we got another penalty on Chiles.
Okay, missed that. Ball all the way back to their own 10-yard line. He's 2nd and 20 from there. I guess 22, 2nd and 20.
It's a lot of first quarter penalty yardage on Chiles so far here.
Three receivers to the right. Jones, the ball carrier, in the backfield. Gonna take the ball, go around the edge again. Still on his feet. Gets a first down and more, out of bounds. About the 34-yard line. Heck of a run there. 24-yard run for Jalen Jones.
They went right back to that play again and had even more success on it, but without the penalty this time.
Saw him make some big runs like that last week against Wakulla.
Jalen Wiggins on the left side now.
This is Clark in the backfield. Gets hit almost as soon as he takes the ball from Jacobs.
Yeah, that's one of the things as an offensive lineman. You've got to do whatever you can to make sure that he does not get the running back, that is, get obstructed in the backfield. You've got to at least get him through the line of scrimmage.
It was Tyreek Walker on the tackle. As a sophomore last year, he had over 100 tackles. Second team all Big Bend. Second and 10. Jacobs. Flag comes down. Jacobs goes down.
Jalen Wiggins was back there, but he's not the one who's going to get the sack. And that's going to be Zachariah McClinton again. Illegal formation declined there by Rickards. They'll go ahead and take the result of the play.
Ball's going to be marked about the 28-yard line of Chiles.
Receivers at the bottom side of the field there for Chiles could not get lined up right. And then they started to run out of play clock as they were trying to get them back to where they were supposed to be. But apparently they weren't able to get them lined up correctly there before they snapped it.
So it's 3rd down. Jacobs fires the ball. Incomplete. Trying to get the ball to Trevor Jacobs.
Well, and Trevor Jacobs is upset. He thinks he should have had that. I don't know whether a defender got a hand on that one or if that's just a drop.
He had to elevate to get his hands on it, but yeah, I'd like to see this replay to see. Yeah, hard to tell.
Yeah. It was Roy Andrews there. Well, I'll say this, too. Even if he didn't touch that one, I think getting the hand there at least impedes the receiver's ability a little bit to make a play on that one.
So the punt still rolling. Going to be down at the Rickards 31. That's where they will take over on their next drive.
Trevor Jacobs' reaction there tells me that maybe he didn't get a hand on it. But again, when he gets that hand in there, just by having your hand in the vicinity of the football there, you can do enough to
take the focus off.
Take the focus off just impede that play and make it tougher to make that catch.
And Trevor's only a sophomore, too, so.
Oh, I think he's going to be a very good player before he finishes up his high school career. They brought him up from the junior varsity last year, and he had some pretty good success as a freshman on the varsity team. Now another flag. A lot of flags here in the first quarter. It's going to be a motion penalty on Rickards. So I'll put him in a 1st and 15. Were it not for a 61-yard touchdown run, we might have more penalty yards than offensive yardage in the first quarter of this game.
1st and 15. Fumble. Going to be recovered by Chiles.
Yeah, that handoff was just never cleanly done. Jamari Wilson with the recovery.
Timberwolves fans got loud.
That snap even get back to the quarterback?
I didn't see it. I was looking.
It hit the short back.
Yeah, trying to do like a direct snap kind of thing.
No, I don't know that they were doing that. I just think he cut in front of that snap. I just think he was too early getting in front of that ball. Because the quarterback, well, now if they're trying to do that, the quarterback's going to try to sell it that he's got it. But it almost looked to me like the quarterback was really expecting that ball and it just never got to him.
Chiles going to start off. They're on 26-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff, cut upfield, still on his feet. Brought down at the 17-yard line. Trevor Jacobs on the run. Gets the ball into the Esposito Lawn and Garden Center red zone. Esposito is the area's most progressive garden center.
Good example of how turnovers can flip a game in a hurry. 7-0, and Chiles with all kinds of penalty issues. And then the turnover, now a nice 9-yard gain on 1st down here, and Chiles has found themselves inside of the red zone with a good opportunity.
Jalen Jones in the backfield next to Jacobs. Jones takes the handoff to the left, turns it upfield, and
he got enough.
Ball down on the field. Rickards says they have it. And the pendulum swings back to the Raiders.
Wow. And again, just as I was saying.
Got poked out.
I believe that's
Jarvere Brown.
Yeah, Jarvere Brown.
Tyreek Walker with the fumble recovery. Raiders will start 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line. 2:09 to go in this first quarter. Pitch. Oh, helmet comes off. Falling ahead. Carly's parent.
Violent hit by Bryson Floyd there.
Price able to get to about the 15-yard line.
Whew. Chiles coaches thought there should have been a penalty there on a block in the back.
Gain of 2 on the play. It's going to be a keeper trying to get around the edges.
They're going to get a hold there on Rickards. So that's going to go half the distance from the 15-yard line. It's Hunter Trotman who was held on that. The defensive end for Chiles, as they tried to go outside with that one, which is a broken play to begin with. That whole play was just a broken play, and then quarterback for Rickards tries to make something out of it, but as he's trying to get outside, Trotman was being held. They're going to go ahead and just take the play, Chiles is, and have it be 3rd and 11 instead of 2nd and, again, it was only going to be a 7.5-yard penalty, so they go ahead and take the 3-yard loss and the down and decline that penalty. But Trotman's trying to get outside to make a play on the quarterback, and he was held, and that's where the penalty came from.
Henry with Andreas Green next to him in the backfield, 3rd and 11. Fakes the handoff, rolls right. Feeling some pressure, fires the ball downfield, almost intercepted. TJ Matthews almost came down with that ball. Thomas Matthews. Bring up a 4th down and 11 for the Raiders. Turner ready to punt the ball away.
John after the play there between Henry, the quarterback, and Trotman, the defensive end, who was chasing him.
1:03 to go in this first quarter. And whistle down. Whistle. Let's see what they're telling us on this one.
Delay on Rickards. So they'll walk off 5 here. Chiles is going to get a good opportunity.
Ball now at the 7-yard line.
And they're going to give Chiles a sideline warning after marking off the penalty. Get back, people have to do a better job.
Turner's punt is away. Line drive. Matthews unable to bring the ball down. He touched it, and it goes out of bounds. So ball's going to be marked at the 43-yard line of the Raiders. That's where Chiles will start this drive.
I think he got caught in between trying to come up and catch that one on a ball that's probably one that you should let go. And, you know, there, as the punt returner, you want to do everything you can to catch it because you don't want them to get a long bounce out of it, but you've got to make sure that you can get into a position where you can make the catch and not have what happened there happen. And fortunately for Chiles, that one bounced out of bounds. Our man Kenny hooking us up here in the press box. Squeegee in the window for us.
1st and 10. Jones fires through the line.
Well, I like them coming back to him here after the fumble. Give him the ball first chance you get. Tell him that's all right. We're still going to, we need you tonight. We need you to be the guy and get some 4 on 1st down here.
Clock continues to tick down. About 30 seconds left in this first quarter. 4 receivers, 1 back for Chiles. Carry once again through the middle. It's going to be close to the 1st down.
Going to end up about a yard short, I think.
So Jones for 5 more on the play. And that'll be the last play of the first quarter. Your score, Rickards 7, Chiles 0. Is the Barineau Heating and Air Friday Night Rivals presented by Consolidated Dispatch Agency.
Welcome back to Gene Cox Stadium. The Raiders are up 7-0 over Chiles, and this is a very special game for the Raiders. We're going to hear a little bit more about this during halftime from their athletic director, Earl Hankerson. But this game is dedicated to a former Raider that passed away last week, Javon Wooten. And I spoke with Coach Lewis about Javon, and he said he is the epitome of what a Raider should be. He was the first of his household to graduate from high school and college. He motivated everyone around us. And this is just a reminder. He's had the conversation with his team before that you have to have something to believe in. You have to have hope. And it's just someone that the Raiders are extremely proud of to have on this campus. Ben, it's a very special night for Rickards.
Sure is. Jay Wu will certainly be missed in the community. Had a great impact. Raiders will get ready on defense here. 2nd and short. Clark with the carry, makes the cut, gets the 1st down, falls ahead to the Raiders' 26-yard line. Flooring America, 1st down. Where friends send friends. Flooring America. Gerald Clark, nice move there. Able to get upfield.
Yeah, good job by the offensive line. Good hole there on 2nd and short.
1st and 10. Jacobs able to hit Van Landingham in the backfield. Comes down for a gain of about a yard. Flag comes down as well. And it's going to be a hold on the Timberwolves. So negate the Brady Van Landingham catch. Ball now placed at the Rickards 36-yard line. Be first down once again for the Timberwolves.
You get good field position. You get yourself in a good spot there, and you end up just stepping on your own foot.
Four receivers, one back for Chiles. Jacobs to Trevor Jacobs. Incomplete.
Now that one you can't really find any blame to put on there except for on Trevor Jacobs. That's one where you're looking to see where you're going before you bring the ball in. And I know I've talked about this time and time again. And John Easton, outstanding wide receiver coach at Florida State back when I played. And was at University of South Carolina, spent some time as an administrator at Florida A&M. He used to always say you catch with your hands, or you catch with your eyes, not your hands. You got to look that ball all the way in, and you can't take your eyes off the ball to see where you're going to be running. Got to make sure you've got that ball gathered in before you do that.
Taylor Jacobs looking downfield, fires the ball. Incomplete.
Going for Cade Fryer there, but a little too far, a little too out of his reach.
So brings up third down from the Rickards 36-yard line.
They've got to get down to the 16.5. So just under 2nd and 20 here. We saw him pick up 22 yards on us. What was it, 2nd and 22?
Mm-hmm. Two backs in the backfield. Taylor Jacobs trying to avoid the pass rush, falls ahead, gets right about to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard further. It'll bring up a 4th and long from about very close to the 35-yard line. And the punting unit comes on for the Timberwolves. Liam Delaney out to punt this ball away. Davian Cremedy back deep to return. Cremedy, outstanding sophomore. High punt. Hits right before the goal line and into the end zone for a touchback. We'll go ahead and send it to break. About 10 minutes left in this second quarter. Your score, Rickards 7, Chiles 0. Barineau Heating and Air Friday Night Rivals on Tallahassee CW. Stay tuned for the Stubbs Roofing and Gutters halftime report. We'll have this week's Werner Hyundai and Werner Kia Scholar athletes. We'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators, plus Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country. All coming up in the Stubbs Roofing and Gutters halftime report. Stubbs Roofing and Gutters, your shelter through the storm. All right, back from Gene Cox Stadium, 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Rickards with the ball. They're up 7-0 over Chiles. Henry fakes the handoff to Green, fires the ball downfield, incomplete. Trying to get that ball to Tyson Saylor. The throw sailed a little bit on Henry.
There you see the rain still coming down. It's kind of shifted directions a little bit as far as the wind goes, though, because we were getting the rain coming into our window a little while ago, and now it's kind of going a different direction. We're not getting that coming in our window anymore, but it's still coming down there on the field.
2nd and 10. Henry on the keeper, gets around the left side, dives ahead. Let's see where they get this marked. About a 3-yard gain. Bring up a 3rd and 7.
This is an offense that very much centers itself around Henry, both running the ball and throwing the ball. A lot of designed runs with him. And that's going to give him 5 more and give him 3rd and short now instead of 3rd and 6 as Chiles jumps off sides.
Officials earning their keep tonight.
Their arms are going to get tired.
3rd and 1. Henry with Price in the backfield next to him. Henry going to keep it. Gets ahead. A 3-yard gain and a big Rickards first down.
It looked like on that camera shot while the penalty was getting walked off that Henry was telling his sideline that he wanted to keep it on that next play. And he did, and he got him the first down.
1st and 10. Henry, pistol formation, hands the ball off to Price. Price gets hit at the line, driven back forward. Bryson Floyd, among others, helping to bring him down.
I think that was the cleanest of exchanges in the backfield. Henry ended up falling to the ground after handing it off.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Henry, Price able to make a move to the left, fall ahead, gains a couple yards. His helmet comes off again.
Plant and Revel came flying in there to make that hit.
Price going to have to come out on that play.
You see Revel 16, good shot of him coming in to make that stop. Really good shot from the end zone camera there.
3rd down for the Raiders. 3 receivers, 1 back. Henry feeling the pressure and brought down.
Holton Harris untouched. Got into that backfield. I don't know if that was a missed assignment or by design, but they might have been hoping that Harris would suck down on the play action there, but he did not.
Ball all the way back to just outside the 20-yard line. 4th down. Turner comes out to punt the ball away. Mari Peoples fields the ball, cleanly falls down, and Timberwolves will take over at the Raiders' 49-yard line.
Chiles keeps getting good field position. They've just, again, it's been a case of Chiles all night just stepping on their own toes. They've been able to move the ball running it, but they just keep getting these untimely penalties.
Near the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Barineau Heating and Air Play of the Game. Barineau Heating and Air, we will always be there for you. 1st and 10. Clark takes the handoff, gets through the line, dives ahead all the way down to the 43-yard line. Gain of 6 for Gerald Clark. Good look at the Rickards defense, taking some shelter, looking at some highlights or lowlights. 2nd down. Clark once again heading downfield, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, dives ahead, out at the 3-yard line. Gerald Clark, 40-yard run. Gets the ball into the Esposito's lawn and garden center red zone.
Good job by that front again of Chiles, opening up a big hole for Clark. Drove right through it.
So both Jalen Jones and Gerald Clark able to bust long runs against this Raiders defense.
Showed good speed once he got to that hole, too.
They'll actually mark the ball at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal at the 5 for the Timberwolves. Looking to tie this thing up.
Clark's still in there. with Jalen Jones.
Fumble. Jacobs able to pounce on that one. Official timeout on the field. We'll go to break as well. 5:50 to go in the second quarter. Rickards 7, Chiles 0. Chiles first and goal, or second and goal return. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Barineau Heating and Air Player of the Game. Barineau Heating and Air, we will always be there for you. Getting a good look at Carly's Price. A candidate for sure for Player of the Game. Had a 61-yard touchdown run. Our only points of the ball game so far. Chiles would like to change that. Second and goal. After the fumble, ball now at the 8-yard line. And Cadet, the smaller back, comes in. Falls ahead to about the 3-yard line. Jeremiah Cadet, the junior. Jalen Jones, the back in the backfield next to Taylor Jacobs. Jalen takes the handoff. Huge hole into the end zone. Touchdown, Timberwolves.
Yeah, you had out of that offensive front for Chiles, you had 3 guys who put their defender on the ground. That's why you had such a big hole for Jalen Jones to essentially walk through for that touchdown.
We've got a injured Raider down on the field. Get a good look. Look at that hole, Eric. Great job of blocking by the Timberwolves.
That's Zachariah McClinton, who's had an excellent game so far.
Now coming off the field.
Checking out his right hand. Part of what they do when you got a hand issue, I guess it's that right little finger is what they're looking at.
Hagen Purdue comes on for the extra point try. Got a late Timberwolf coming out on the field now. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. Plenty of time. Line drive is up and good. Tie ball game, 7-7. We'll get another look at Jalen Jones' touchdown run from the end zone. Just like they drew it up. Stay tuned for the Stubbs Roofing and Gutters halftime report. We'll have this week's Werner Hyundai and Werner Kia Scholar athletes. We'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators, plus Thursday nights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country. All coming up in the Stubbs Roofing and Gutters halftime report. Stubbs Roofing and Gutters, your shelter through the storm. Speaking of storms, looks like it's
Subsided a little bit.
Yeah, cooling things off. Lovely conditions now.
A little fake fall for us. Don't get lulled into a false sense of seasonal change.
Oh, yeah, there's still some 80-plus degree, 85-degree days for us coming up. Liam Delaney's shoebox kickoff. Up and fielded. Receiver goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, momentum took him back in there, but it's still going to be a touchback. You don't penalize the team for momentum taking you back into the end zone there. And high school ball, it's dead if it goes into the end zone.
Speaking of momentum, Raiders offense looking to bring some momentum to their ball club now after Chiles is able to bring the ball downfield and tie this ball game up.
Well, again, I think Chiles has been able to move the ball. It's just been a case of getting out of their own way. Mm-hmm. They got out of their own way on that drive.
Henry, play not made, penalty. Offsides on Rickards is called. So we'll march this one back 5 yards against the Raiders.
It's got to be somebody lining up wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear Bill Riggins from all the way up here.
And he's on the far side of the field from the press box, folks.
Exactly. Oh, Bill, you can always catch that Live Oak accent.
1st and 15. Henry. Catch made, had to jump up to grab it, but brought down as soon as the catch was made, right about the line of scrimmage.
Nice play by LaShawn Douglas there.
We'll get a good look.
See that open field tackle here by Douglas. It's one a lot of times you'll see guys forget to wrap up. They make the play, make the hit for no gain or a loss, and forget they got to wrap the guy up too.
2nd and 15, Henry. Pass completed. 1st down, Raiders.
And there's a broken tackle. As soon as I say that. Looks like that's Philip Stewart.
Ball now about the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Henry looks left, going to keep the ball. Chiles all over him. Brings him down. Let's see where they mark this. It is going to be a loss. Bryson Floyd.
They were trying to throw a quick pass to the sideline left side, but it was covered well by Chiles, so Henry decided to hang on to the ball. Then he was going to try to make something out of that with his feet, but Chiles did an excellent job of surrounding him and getting to a spot where there was nowhere for him to go. And I talked earlier about staying in lanes and doing that. Chiles did a good job there breaking down. Not everybody tried to go at the guy, give him a chance to break loose. They just surrounded him until somebody made a tackle.
Henry on the design run, nothing doing. Bryson Floyd all over him. No gain on the play. 3rd and 11. Timeout on the field. Let's get a look here. Henry, get Bryson Floyd. Shot out of a cannon. Get a good look at that wrap job on his hand. Suffering from breaking that hand. Not able to play last week against Wakulla.
Well, I know they're happy to have him back this week. Makes a big difference in the middle of that defense for Chiles. And we've seen him already make some big plays here tonight.
Last season, Bryson Floyd, 124 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 1 interception. He and Chase Harley, formidable linebacker duo last year.
Harley playing at the NAIA level this season.
I did not know that. So it looks like marked it down for a loss of a yard on the play. 3rd and 12 for the Raiders. Carly's Price checks in the backfield. 3 receivers, 1 back. Price, fake handoff. Henry looking to get the ball downfield, caught, falls ahead, still going on his feet. There is a flag down. We'll see how that goes out. If there is not against the Raiders, that will be a long touchdown pass and run. Indication in the backfield, though, is hold against the Raiders, so this will not count for the Raiders. Would have been a 70-yard touchdown catch and run. They're marched 10 off from the 30.
Going back to Chase Harley, Kaiser University, the defending NAIA national champions. Wearing number 1 for them this year.
Yeah, Kaiser was on a roll last year. They did a heck of a job getting that championship. So the ball would be placed at the Raiders' 20-yard line. 3rd down and 23. 3 receivers, 1 back for the Raiders. Fake the handoff. Henry feeling the pressure. Steps up in the pocket. Fires the ball downfield. Caught. Complete. First down, Raiders.
So we've seen a 3rd and 23 and a 3rd and 22 converted tonight.
Davian Crumedy with the big catch. Flooring America first down. Great job by Henry to find him. And the sophomore makes a huge play.
Well, and Holden Harris was stepping up that play thinking that Henry was going to keep it. And that's why the receiver was open. Henry did a good job of selling that and then pulling up before he got to the line of scrimmage and making the throw.
Fake the handoff to Green. Henry takes the ball. Dives ahead for 2 yards. Clock continues to tick. Under 2 minutes to go in this first half. Ball plays just, let's see, at the 49-yard line of the Raiders. Fake the handoff. Henry rolling to his right, feeling the pressure. Fires the ball downfield and complete. There was contact. This should be going the Raiders' way.
Yeah, LaShawn Douglas got there a little early.
And that is the call.
It's fortunate for Rickards because you're still going to be shortened in 3rd down. If he doesn't come up and make contact there, you make the catch, you're going to be 3rd and short. Instead, you get the penalty and get a first down and move yourselves into Chiles territory.
Ball spotted at the Chiles 36-yard line. Be 1st and 10 from there. Carlise Price checks into the backfield. Fakes the handoff. Henry looking downfield. And incomplete.
Well, I'm not sure whether it was LaShawn Douglas or Sawyer McNeely who got a hand on that one, but Chiles does a good job defending there. You had McNeely who had coverage on the receiver, and then you had Douglas coming over his help. One of them got a hand on that ball, maybe both of them.
It was Aaron Johnson that Henry was trying to connect with.
Yeah, it was Douglas. Actually, I said it was 34, Sawyer McNeely. It was Jamar Wilson who had the coverage.
Henry steps up in the pocket, sees the receiver, not able to connect with him, trying to get that ball once again to Davion Crumedy.
Crumedy's got a little separation there, but throw's not on target.
Crumedy was the Tallahassee Quarterback Club Impact Player of the Week, Game 2.
It's a big 3rd down here for Rickards. Tie ball game. Just a 1:05 left in the first half. And Rickards is going to call timeout and talk this one over.
If you're wondering what the Raiders will be doing next week, they'll be heading up north against Colquitt County. Playing some of that tough Georgia football.
Bill Reagans was once an assistant coach at Colquitt County.
Timberwolves we'll see once again on Friday Night Rivals next Friday night versus Godby from right here at Gene Cox Stadium. So the Raiders getting ready for the big 3rd down play.
Changed the name to Friday Night Chiles.
Friday Night Chiles, yeah. 3 weeks in a row. Ball at the Chiles 36-yard line. Henry fakes the handoff, feeling the pressure from Bryson Floyd. Thrown down for a big sack.
A little delayed blitz coming there from Floyd, and he came in untouched.
Get a nice look at it. Floyd getting through the big hole, falling down, bringing him down about the 48-yard line. Talking about the magnitude of that sack there, Eric. I mean, that was...
Well, I just said it was a pretty big 3rd down with just over a minute left in the half. And if you're Rickards, you pick that one up. You've got a chance to put a score on the board before you go into the locker room at halftime. Instead, it's Chiles with the big stop. And I would imagine they'll probably just... I don't even know if they'll run a play here after they get the ball.
Ball goes out of bounds close to the 20-yard line
And now they will have to at least run a play, but I don't know that you're going to do a whole lot here not sure you do anything fancy here, just take it to the locker room tied 7-7.
So the Timberwolves will come out. 13 seconds on the game clock before we get to halftime. The Stubbs Roofing and Gutters halftime report will be coming up. Jacobs with Jones and Clark in the backfield will take a knee. And that will take us to the end of the first half. Your score, Rickards 7, Chiles 7. We will await Emily Peters getting with Rickards head coach Quentin Lewis. We'll send it down when she is ready, and she is ready. So, Emily.
Thank you, Ben. Coach, you told me earlier this week that one of the keys was to stop Chiles' run game, definitely causing some problems for Jalen Jones. What can you say about your defense?
Not bad tonight. We gave up one big run, a couple of mistakes on that play. Other than that, we've been pretty good. We just got to be consistent with up front and just be steady. It's going to be a long, drawn-out game with a run game, so we got to be patient and be physical at the same time.
Hey, but at least the rain has kind of stopped. What is the message in the locker room?
Finish and be and focus. We just got to stop making mental mistakes offensively, and that's what's going on right now. And we stop making the mental mistakes, we'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Coach Lewis. We'll go ahead and send a break, and we'll come back with the Stubbs Roofing and Gutters halftime report.
Hi, my name is Kamar Edwards. I'm the new car sales manager here at Warner Hyundai. We're proud to be part of this community, and we're proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
This week's Scholar Athlete is Jake Atwood. Jake has a 4.1 GPA and is a member of the varsity football team and does track and field. He is a two-time district champion in throwing discus and is a member of the National Honor Society. Congratulations, Jake.
Hi, I'm Paul, General Manager of Warner Kia. We are proud to be part of this community, and we're proud to introduce the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
This week's Scholar Athlete is Jalen Wiggins. Jalen has a 4.1 GPA and is a member of the varsity football team. He has 24 Division I offers, is an IB student, and volunteers at FSU concessions in his free time. Congratulations, Jalen. Welcome back to Gene Cox Stadium. We are all tied up at half, 7-7, Rickards Chiles, and I am down here on the field with principal of Chiles High School, Joe Burgess, and we have some nice ambiance for this interview. Tell me about the band program.
So they are some hardworking kids. When we're up there during the summer, they are working their tails off, learning their music, learning their craft. Of course, the football games are actually a practice for the assessments, and so they also do concert band, and many of them are in other performing arts activities and take accelerated courses. So you got a great group of kids, and if you need something to do, just something that's going to keep you, going in high school, being a part of band is a great program.
And I know you and Mr. Earl Hankerson go way back. You were telling me a little bit before this interview. Tell me about him.
Yeah, so Earl's just a great guy. I mean, matter of fact, a few years back, he actually was our announcer for our Chiles games, right? And but he's a great AD. He is he's a spokesman for the Raider Nation, right? So even as the principal of Chiles High School, I give a shout out to Raider Nation. But Earl does a great job, and all the things he does, he is all about the kids at Rickards.
We're one big family, and speaking of, I know you got your shout out, so go ahead and give me your shout out.
Oh yeah, so I want to give a shout out to my wife Shannon, to my kids Mike and Alana, and then to, of course, my family from Mount Pleasant over in Gaston County, because I always give them a shout out because that's our roots out there. And but it's always great to be on here, and I mean, of course, 3 weeks in a row, because we got next week too that we'll be on here.
Yes, we do. So thank you so much for always being so welcoming for us. And you guys are watching the Stubbs Halftime Report. Stay tuned for more. I'm out here at Barineau Heating and Air with Patrick. And Patrick, you guys have been involved with Friday Night Rivals since the beginning. What is it about this partnership that keeps you guys coming back?
Yeah, I mean, anytime that we can be in front of our local schools, local families, and support what high school football brings to our community, it's a win-win. And us being a local company with local employees, we have kids that go to these schools. It just makes perfect sense.
Let's build on that a little bit, because I know as a parent, you have students in high school athletics. Why is it important for the community to be involved?
Yeah, so with most schools, it's hard to raise all the money and funding that schools, need to support their sports. And, this is just a small way for us to give back to those schools.
And let's talk about that local business aspect. Why is that important for customers to know you guys have been in this community for a long time now?
Yeah, so when you deal with local companies, the owners are local, the employees are local, it keeps everything local. So, there's a lot of options when it comes to air conditioning, but there's very few that are true Tallahassee local.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
I'm down here on the field with Rickards Athletic Director Earl Hankerson. And Mr. Hankerson, this is a very special game. Tonight is dedicated to a very special player that just passed. Will you tell me a little bit about him?
Listen, Javon Wooten, he was one of the greatest Raiders to come through Rickards High School. We call him Jay Woo. And he was an extraordinary young man and went through some struggles. And the greatest part about it was he never quit. He never quit on the field. He never quit on the court. He never quit in the classroom. And then he was able to matriculate at Albany State University, get his degree. And that's one thing that we're most proud of, is when our student athletes continue their education and then go ahead and get their degree. And so just an outstanding young man, and we couldn't be more proud. And we are praying for him and his family as they go through this difficult time.
I spoke with Coach Lewis as well about him, and it just feels like he really tries to send that message to the team as well, just the culture at Rickards High School. Tell me a little bit about what Coach Lewis brings.
Yeah, Coach Lewis, listen, that's one of the best hires I ever made, and I think that was back in 2012. He's the first head coach that I actually hired at Rickards, and just a phenomenal coach, phenomenal man, and he is a really, really good role model to our student athletes, and he does everything that he's asked to do, and we couldn't be more proud of Coach and the accomplishments that he's made and how he conducts himself with our guys.
And you mentioned the student athletes. Of course, they are students first. How does being involved with the football program help them be successful?
All of the character traits that any young man we would want to teach. Dedication, commitment, paying attention to details, things of that nature as they continue to grow within themselves. We just talked Tuesday in practice. We had progress alerts come out. And the same way we talked about competing on the field is the way that we want to compete in our buildings on campus. We want to compete in the classroom. We want to compete against our classmates, but we want to compete against ourselves and be the best people that we can be. And so that's the one thing that I'm very proud of, that our coaches across the board talk about at Rickards High School.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hankerson, and we love being out here.
Absolutely. Listen, I'll never forget, we talked about Javon Wooten. Right here in this spot, he sent us to the regional finals that year, called a slant pass, and the roof went off the place. It was amazing. And so that's one of the things I'll always remember, I'll never forget. And so we love you, Javon. We love his family, and we are praying for you. And just hope that he's going to be a blessing. He's going to continue to be a blessing. Always remember, one nation, Raider Nation.
And he'll be here in spirit tonight.
Game tonight and halftime show is dedicated to him.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
I'm out here with David Odom at Consolidated Dispatch Agency. Now, David, what is Consolidated Dispatch Agency?
Yes, ma'am. We are your 911 emergency communications center for the city of Tallahassee and for Leon County.
And we are standing right now on the operations floor. It really does take a whole team here.
Absolutely. It takes a group of dedicated individuals who have a servant's heart, who just want to serve this community and provide resources to this community when they are in need.
And you guys are the first point of contact when people call 911. Tell me about the different partners then.
Yeah, absolutely. We're one of the partners here for the public safety in this community, and we work with the Leon County Sheriff's Office, City of Tallahassee Police Department, Leon County EMS, and the City of Tallahassee Fire Department. And it takes all of us as a team to provide the resources and to get out and try to help this community when they're in need.
Yeah, and you mentioned community. It really is a community here, but you guys are also very involved with the community, like Friday Night Rivals. Why was that important?
Yeah, it's important for us because not only do we serve this community, we're part of this community. We have our own staff members out of those Friday night football games, and we just enjoy being part of this community, being out and serving what we do. You
guys serve this community. What can the community do to get involved with your team?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to have you come and visit with us and see how we do serve this community and be part of it and join our team. Love to have you.
Well, thank you so much, David.
Absolutely. We look forward to being part of Friday Night Rivals. Go team.
Hi everyone, I'm out here at Stubbs Roofing with Cindy. And Cindy, when I think of this time of year, I immediately think of football season, but it's still storm season and it's really ramping up. So what reminders do you have for families?
Yes, Emily. So storm season has begun, and even though we haven't had severe weather, we may still get some this year. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of our free inspections. And it's important to have inspections done regularly to prevent any issues from causing major damage. It's important to make sure that our families are protected, that our roofs are secure in good conditions. When we do come out, we are always transparent about what really needs to get done.
And that is something that really sets you guys apart, is the transparency with clients. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, so we are completely honest with our clients. We, let them know if, repairs are necessary or if, it's time for a new roof. But we don't just try to, sell them a repair. And we understand that's more than a house. It's a home where, families are growing together.
And families are probably at home right now watching Friday Night Rivals, and so happy that you guys are participating this year. What inspired you guys to participate?
Well, really, we just love to be part of the community, to give back. The community has always supported us as a company, and so we just really want to give back to them.
Well, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Emily.
On behalf of Barineau Heating and Air Conditioning, we're proud to present this check to Rickards High School for their academics and athletics.
Welcome back to Gene Cox Stadium, Tallahassee, Florida. Getting ready to kick off the second half. Tie ball game, Chiles Rickards. If you're into penalties, the first half was an enjoyment for you. You saw quite a few.
If you're into penalties.
Hey, there's some people that are like that, especially if they're related to the officials, right? They're in to see the action of the loved ones calling the game. But things got settled down toward the end of the second quarter. Put us where we are now, 7-7. Chiles ready to give us a shoebox kickoff. Here is the shoebox kickoff. The shoebox, home of the happy feet, going to be fielded at the 2-yard line. The 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and out of bounds. Emily Pierce on the sidelines. Emily, what did Coach Bill Riggins have to tell you?
Yeah, Ben, I spoke with Coach Riggins, and he said defensively, aside from one play, of course, I feel like we've been good. I told him in the locker room, just keep it up, keep fighting. And then offensively, I asked him, how do you break through? And he said, I feel like we're just on the cusp. It's almost there. I feel like eventually something's going to break for us. And he had a similar message as Coach Lewis, penalty-wise. Ben, you mentioned it. There were a decent amount on both sides in the first half. So cleaning those things up, staying disciplined, and keep fighting was the big message.
Great, Emily. Thank you. And that kickoff is going to be brought back.
Speaking of penalties.
Speaking of penalties, you're right. So all the way back to the 10-yard line is where Rickards will start off their first drive of the second half. Carlise Price takes the handoff, thrown down by Strozier in the backfield.
It's the first time we've called his name out tonight. We did quite a bit last week. Good job getting into the backfield there and coming up with the big stop.
Loss of 5 on that play. First half, Henry 3 of 8, 40 yards passing. Price 64 yards rushing and that 61-yard touchdown run. Pass complete. Out to the 10, 12-yard line. Philip Stewart on the grab. The 3rd and 8 for the Raiders. Henry steps up in the pocket, fires the ball, incomplete. Trying to get that ball to Stewart again. 4th down, punting unit will come on the field for the Raiders. Sawyer McNeely. Thomas Matthews back deep to get this Chris Turner punt. Neely has trouble, picks it up, runs ahead, ends up getting a nice gain, about a 14-yard return after he fumbled the ball a bit.
That's one of those where the coach does the no, go, go. But another penalty. This one is against Chiles.
Looks like it might have to do with hitting the punter.
Roughing. So that gives Rickards a 1st down.
Wow. Well, just like that, the Timberwolves thought they had them stopped deep in their own territory. And they rough the punter, getting new life to the Raiders. Going to take over at the 22-yard line. Handoff.
Strozier again. For the game, I got to see Wally Burnham. He was a long-time college assistant. Worked under Bobby Bowden and was one of Mickey Andrews' right-hand men. Linebackers coach. Went up to South Carolina when Brad Scott took the head job at South Carolina. His son Shane Burnham here tonight. Shane works for a company that deals in transfer portal recruitment.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Shane, a former Division I defensive coordinator.
Price takes the handoff, falls ahead to about the 33-yard line. Well, a gain of 6, 3rd and 4.
Wally Burnham went back. He actually worked with Mickey Andrews before they came to Florida State. They worked together with the Arizona Wranglers in the United States Football League.
Oh, yes.
The old USFL.
3rd down. Henry. Incomplete, trying to get that ball to Philip Stewart, just threw it too high over his head. Bring up a 4th down and 4.
If you're ever feeling nostalgic, football for a buck. There's a buck for you, Ben.
I believe I heard the audiobook version of that.
About the old USFL days?
Mm-hmm. I love that growing up watching the USFL.
Had season tickets to the Tampa Bay Bandits. My dad and I used to go every week.
Very nice. Oh, fake punt. A little too much air on that throw from Turner. Not able to make the completion. Big gamble. We'll see what Chiles does on offense when we come back from break. 8:53 to go in the 3rd quarter. Your score 7-7. Friday Night Rivals on Tallahassee CW. Back at Gene Cox Stadium, Tallahassee, Florida. After the unsuccessful fake punt, Chiles will take over with the ball at the Rickards 33-yard line. 1st and 10, their first possession of the 2nd half. Big gamble by Rickards. Deep in their own territory to go for that fake punt. 1st and 10. Clark going to take the handoff from Jacobs. Able to push ahead. A gain of 5 there for Clark. Gerald Clark, the junior. Jalen Jones, the senior, in the backfield with Taylor Jacobs. This will be Jalen Jones getting to the outside. Legs cut out from under. A huge play by the Raiders. And I don't have a 0 on my roster for them. If I'm reading that number right, yep, that's a 0. We'll have to figure out who 0 on the Raiders is. Made a huge tackle for loss. 3rd down. Jacobs throws the ball at the feet of his intended receiver, Cade Fryer. Bring up a 4th down. Just got the report 0 is Douglas Jones tonight. Good to know. Douglas Jones for safety.
Normally number 4.
Chiles will line up for 46-yard field goal attempt. Hagen Purdue. Kick is up, end over end. And it is short. No good. So Rickards able to recover from that fake punt attempt that gave Chiles such good starting position. Later in tonight's game, we'll be showcasing the Consolidated Dispatch Agency drive of the game. Consolidated Dispatch Agency, service to others. So Ben Henry brings the Raiders out for their second drive of the second half. Gonna hand the ball to the receiver in motion, getting around the edge, heading downfield. Got the angle on him, brought down to about the 14-yard line before he's finally brought down. Got to give credit there to Aaron Johnson on the huge run.
Good job there by LaShawn Douglas, tracking him down.
Yeah.
Saving a touchdown.
Heck of a run by Johnson. And you're right, Douglas did a great job tracking him down. If he wasn't able to get him, no one would.
62 yards on that
62 yards.
carry.
Ball now into the Esposito Lawn and Garden Center red zone. Henry on the keeper, gets around the edge, brought down out of bounds about the 9-yard line. Right out where the sticks are. Looks like just a little bit shy of the first down, 2nd and 1 from just inside the 10. Andreas Green behind Henry in the pistol formation. Green will take the handoff around the edge. Gets ahead for the first down, still on his feet, diving forward. Touchdown Raiders! Great run by Andreas Green. Another Weston and Trawick touchdown for the Raiders.
Excellent second effort there by Green. Looked like he was going to go down short of the goal line, but he was able to keep his feet moving and stretch for that last few inches to get across. And it looked like 5-yard line. He was destined for the ground there, but
great job and the camera work right there, bringing the action to you. Menjivar out for the extra point. Up and good. Your score, Rickards 14, Chiles 7, 6:51 to go in the third quarter. Go ahead and celebrate as the Barineau Heating and Air Friday Night Rivals present by Consolidated Dispatch Agency. Back at Gene Cox Stadium. Menjivar about to kick the ball off after a Andreas Green 6-yard touchdown run. Puts the Raiders ahead in this ball game. And here's the shoebox kickoff. The shoebox, home of the happy feet, into the end zone for a touchback. Yeah, it sure was. They got together on that drive. Did a heck of a job getting down there. Some big plays. 1st and 10. Clark through the middle. 12-yard gain. Gerald Clark, 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves. Anderson and Hart first down. Anderson and Hart, because you matter.
Yeah, I think Chiles has just got to keep doing that, keep grinding the football there. They're down 7, so you don't have to. It's one score. You don't have to panic. You don't have to just throw out what's been successful for you. Again, they've just got to stop stopping themselves.
Mm-hmm. Gerald Clark still in the backfield with Taylor Jacobs Jr. Clark once again. Defense collapses on him that time. Got about a yard gain there for Clark. Four receivers. The one back in the backfield again is Gerald Clark. Jacobs hits Trevor Jacobs. Jacobs able to make the catch, falls ahead. About 9 on that play.
He's going to end up being about a half a yard short, I think, of the first down.
Trevor's first reception of the evening, had a couple drops. Looks like we've got a water break on the field. We'll get a look at the replay. Jacobs to Jacobs.
He did get enough for the first. I thought he was about a half a yard short, but favorable spot there. And first down for Chiles, trying to answer back on that after that touchdown by Rickards.
Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. Near the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Barineau Heating and Air play of the game. Barineau Heating and Air, we will always be there for you. See what that will be. We've had some big ones. Both Jones and Clark have had some big runs for Chiles. Jalen Jones at the half had 63 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Clark had 54 yards rushing, so combined for over 100 yards in the first half. Looking pretty good here in the second as well. That's Clark next to Jacobs in the backfield. 1st and 10. Oh, beg your pardon, that's Jones in the backfield.
And Jones on the carry, but nowhere for him to go. Jacoby Gilbert and Jarver Brown with the stop there. Plugging things up in the middle of the line.
Jalen Jones able to get that to the 45-yard line, so about a yard.
Cade Fryer's been pretty quiet tonight. They haven't had a whole lot of success throwing the football this evening.
Play clock almost expired. Jacobs able to get the ball off. Heading to Trevor Jacobs, and incomplete. Trevor had his man beat.
And that one got fingers on both the hands there for Trevor Jacobs.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Had his man beat. 3rd and 9 now for the Timberwolves. Ball at their own 45-yard line. Jacobs rolls to the left, has some protection, fires the ball downfield. That's going to be intercepted. Got things set up for a nice run back. Cuts back the other way to his own 40 where he is brought down. Wow.
Well, Fryer was in the area and the intended receiver, but that ball missed Cade Fryer by quite a bit.
That was Davion Crumity making the play. The sophomore overthrows the receiver.
That's just a really bad overthrow.
Yep. Crumity able to return the ball up to the Rickards 40. That's where they'll start this drive off. Ahead in this ball game, 14-7. 4:19 to go in the third quarter. Ben Henry with Carlis Price in the backfield. Henry fakes the handoff, keeps the ball himself. Loss of a yard on the play. Good job by this Timberwolves defense, playing stout up the middle. Second and 11. Price vacates the backfield. And penalty flag. They'll call that a false start. Legal motion. March it back 5. Ball now at the Rickards 34-yard line. Second and 16. Henry. Pass completed. And gain of a couple yards, able to get that to Aaron Johnson. We've got a Raider down. Okay, now he's up. Looks like he felt a little bit of a cramp. Able to walk it off. And he'll come off the field, get tended to. So gain of a yard, that'll bring up a 3rd and 15. Play clock down to 10.
Rickards comfortable letting some clock wind down here. Ended up calling timeout, though.
Yeah, that play clock was almost at 0. So timeout on the field, 3rd and 15. Raiders will talk things over on the sideline. Raiders fans have a big game next week at Colquitt County. Colquitt coming tonight as a 2-1 record. Should be a heck of a contest. Okay, Emily Peters, you got something to tell us about next week's Raiders game?
Yeah, I sure do. I talked to Coach Lewis about it because it definitely stood out to me on their schedule. And Coach Lewis said, we know it's going to be challenging, but we have a good feeling about the next couple years. So we want to put this team in that environment to experience a challenge now so we can learn a lesson from it. Good or bad, we're going to learn. And that's the type of team we want to be. And in order to be that, we need to go and compete and test our maturity, both players and coaches. So guys, it'll be a really big test for Rickards next week, just like you said, Ben.
Well, thank you, Emily. Speaking of a test, Bryson Floyd was coming in hard on Ben Henry there. Henry able to scramble and throw the ball out of bounds, so no sack, able to avoid it. But it's going to bring up a 4th and 15 for the Raiders.
Came in on that late blitz again. We saw him get a sack in the first half. Coming in like that. This time he just couldn't hang on, but did force him from the pocket and forced him to just chuck that one out of bounds.
McNeely and Matthews back to receive the punt from Turner. Four seconds on the play clock. There's the punt. High one. Hits at the 45, and Rickards will down it. Well, someone's trying to pick. Well,
I'm not sure what.
We'll rely on the officials to.
Well, it's Malachi Mitchell, for some reason, is getting in the middle of that, trying to pick that ball up. He needs to just let it roll, let it die, not get anywhere near it. Sawyer McNeely was kind of standing over it a little bit, and oh, he got pushed into it. That's why. He got pushed into the ball.
So the Raiders will. They wound up getting the ball down to the 39-yard line. That's where the Timberwolves will take over on this drive. Taylor Jacobs with Gerald Clark and Jalen Jones in the backfield. That's Jalen Jones on the carry. Falls ahead close to 5 yards. Near the conclusion of tonight's, or later in tonight's game, we'll be showcasing the Consolidated Agency. I'm sorry, I'm giving the wrong one. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Barineau Heating and Air Player of the Game. Barineau Heating and Air will always be there for you. Second down for the Wolves. Oh, pass got swatted away. So third down coming up. Nice job there, Jacoby Gilbert, knocking that ball away. Third and 5 for Chiles. Clark and Jones still in the backfield, flanking Taylor Jacobs Jr.
I just noticed Cade Fryer runs just like his father.
Jones getting around the left and gets ahead for the first down, falls ahead for a few more yards there. Flag comes in at the end of the play. Back behind it. Looks like Chiles already knows it's against them.
There's another penalty against Chiles. Knocks out a nice gain on 3rd and about 5 that picks up a first down.
Calling that illegal use of the hands.
It's been the story of the night for this Chiles team. They just can't get out of their own way.
Ball back to the 37-yard line of Chiles. 3rd and about 12 here. Same formation. Jacobs trying to hit Trevor Jacobs, not able to make the completion. Bring up a 4th down. Davion Crumby comes out to return the punt. Liam Delaney coming out to kick the ball away for Chiles. Kicking the ball away from Crumby. Nice bounce. It'll be down to about the 12-yard line. That's where the Raiders will start their next possession. 1:13 to go in this third quarter. We were talking about the Raiders' schedule. After that Colquitt County, they start to get into their district games against Fort Walton Beach and Choctawhatchee.
Can you spell Choctawhatchee for me without looking at it? I saw you look down at that piece of paper.
I tested myself last night when I was typing it up, and I kept having to backspace and go back. So, no, I'm not going to even try. Gain of 2 on the play for the Raiders.
Yeah, again, if you're Rickards, you can let that clock run. 7-point lead in a low-scoring game, so as much of that clock as you can run off here, that's to your benefit.
Henry feeling the pressure, rolling right, firing the ball downfield, incomplete. Stops the clock with about 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Again, I'm just laughing because I can hear Bill Reagans, the head coach for Chiles.
Once again, all the way across the field. And we're high up in the press box, too. We can still hear him. 3rd down and long. Henry rolling right, fires the ball downfield. Complete, out of bounds. First down, Raiders.
That feels like a really big first down for Rickards there.
Okay, finally he turned. Aaron Johnson on the catch. I was trying to tell who is that. Really hard to tell with these numbers from these jerseys. So Aaron Johnson, a huge play. Anderson and Hart, first down for the Raiders. 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Hand off. Nice cut and brought down once again. Bryson Floyd making a big play in the backfield. Johnson checking out. Carlise Price coming in to play running back for the Raiders. And that play will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Your score, Rickards 14, Chiles 7. It's the Barineau Heating Air Friday Night Rivals on Tallahassee CW. Back to Gene Cox Stadium. That's your score. Raiders 14, Timberwolves 7. Get ready to start this all-important 4th quarter. Both these teams, as we mentioned in the beginning, both of them suffered losses last week. So a win for one of them tonight is going to be huge. Get them back on the right trail. So start heading toward the district games. It's got an interesting stat from Kellen. Combined passing yards for both these teams, or combined passing numbers, 8 of 30, 72 yards. Oof. Two interceptions.
Well, in defense of the 2 quarterbacks, we had a lot of rain early, a wet field, wet football. Could make it tough to throw.
So after we had the break, Raiders call a timeout before the ball gets snapped. That could be a killer. Those timeouts are very important. 4th quarter comes around, a close game like this.
Yeah, that's not something that you want to have to do when you're a coaching staff. That will certainly drive fans in the stands crazy.
And coaches up in the press boxes. Second and 11 coming up for the Raiders. Henry feeling the pressure, steps up in the pocket, fires the ball, has a receiver. A little too much oomph on that throw. Was feeling the pressure. Trying to get to the completion to Crumity. Bring up a 3rd and 11 for Rickards. Henry coming into the ball game, 67% on his completion percentages, just not able to live up to those numbers tonight. Henry rolls right on a big 3rd down play. Has some time, no one open, keeps it himself, gets out of bounds, but that will be short of the 1st down. They'll spot the ball at Rickards' 35-yard line, bring up a 4th and 7 from there. Turner out to punt the ball away. Amari Peoples, Thomas Matthews back deep for the Timberwolves. And toward Matthews, who will fair catch it at the Chiles 30-yard line. That's where they'll get started, their first drive of the 4th quarter.
How about the Rickards band going a little Edgar Winter band there?
Oh, Frankenstein?
Oh, Frankenstein, yes. Yeah. It's almost spooky season.
That's right, we're getting there. Looking ahead for Chiles, of course, next week we'll have them here on Friday Night Rivals against Godby right here at Gene Cox Stadium. After that, they play Fort White, and then crosstown versus Florida High.
Spooky season is definitely my kids' favorite time of the year.
Yes, mine too. 1st and 10, Timberwolves. That'll be Jalen Jones, but the play is whistled dead. Jones takes a shove at the end of that play.
False start, Chiles.
I think we need to get a bigger budget because we need a stat guy that'll take count of penalty yards, because we definitely don't have that right now.
If only you knew the stat guy.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay him double tonight, though.
Well, he has to want to do it, and he just doesn't want to do it. 2nd down. We're not going to negotiate on air, stat boy. No gain on the, well, a little bit of a gain by Jalen Jones on the play. Credit him for a yard, so 2nd and 14. Get a good look here at the Raiders defense. Clogging up that middle. Ball to the Timberwolves 25-yard line. Jacobs trying to get the ball to Bundridge. First time we've called his name tonight. So 3rd and 15 for Chiles.
It's been a fairly anemic passing game tonight. Well, for both teams, not just for Chiles. So what kind of play do you have for 3rd and 15?
One back, 4 receivers for the Timberwolves. Jacobs going to keep the ball himself. Gets thrown down after a gain of about 6 yards. We'll bring up 4th down and long for the Timberwolves.
That was Jacoby Gilbert on the stop.
Davion Crumity going back deep to return the punt from Liam Delaney.
Beautiful punt.
Yeah, nice hang time. Crumity lets the ball bounce. Very good bounce for the Timberwolves. Going to go inside the 10-yard line to be down at the 9. Great job by the punt and roll. We'll go ahead and send it to break.
61-yard punt.
14-7. Friday Night Rivals. Back on Friday Night Rivals, at Liam Delaney punt. 61 yards. Pins the Raiders back inside their 10 at the right about the 9-yard line. That's where they get things started. Chiles needs their defense to come up big, down by 7.
Yeah, you get a 3 and out here, you can give it to your offense in good field position.
Nice job. Crumity gets handed off the ball as he goes in motion. Knocked back. Down. Bryson Floyd taking a little bit of time to get up. Be feeling that hand again.
Well, that hand's wrapped a lot heavier than it was in the first half of this game. Trent Strozier was disrupting things in the backfield there. Again, made that play. He didn't get the tackle in that one, but made that play and kind of blew it up in the backfield there for Chiles.
Play clock down to 7. Henry and Strozier looks like jumped off. Let's see if he was drawn. Doesn't look like he was. The Raiders offensive line was celebrating that. Going to give Henry a little room to breathe. Fake the handoff to Crumity. It's going to be Johnson going around the outside, out of bounds about the 14-yard line. I'm sorry, it was Andreas Green on the carry.
Probably should have been a flag thrown for a hold on the edge there. It looked like Hunter Trotman was being held.
3rd and 5 for the Raiders from their own 14-yard line. That's Price next to Henry in the backfield. Henry, an errant pass. Incomplete, out of bounds, 4th down.
Yeah, this has not been a night for either quarterback.
So the punting unit will come out for the Raiders.
So there's your 3 and out for the Chiles defense. Now they've got to get picked up by the offense here.
Peoples and Matthews back to return the Chris Turner punt.
Last time Chiles forced a punt deep, they tried to go for the block and rough the kicker. They'll set up the return here.
Not a very good kick. Let's see where they spot this thing. And he will march. Fans not happy about where they're spotting that ball. He's spotting it at the 39. Looked like it went out of bounds well before then, but the official had,
I think that's
the field had a better look than myself.
I think that's less fans and more Chiles coaching staff.
So the Timberwolves will take over 1st and 10 at the Raiders 39-yard line. That's Jalen Jones in the backfield next to Taylor Jacobs Jr. Jones has a blocker in front of him, tries to get around the end, but a huge play by the Raiders.
Tyreek Walker. Big stop from behind on Jalen Jones. Penetration and then brought him down from behind.
Walker, their leading tackler, coming into this ball game.
Oh, there he comes right up the middle from that linebacker spot.
He was a 2nd-team All-Big Ben last year as a sophomore. Clock continues to roll down. Right about 8 minutes to go in this ball game. 2nd and 11 for Chiles. They're at the Raiders' 40-yard line. Jacobs. Van Landingham catches, falls ahead, coming close to the sticks. They will mark him just about 1.5 yards shy. Big catch for Brady Van Landingham. Ball down to the Raiders' 31-yard line. 3rd down from there. Jacobs, Clark, 2nd effort.
Did he get it? Looks like he's going to be about 1 yard past the marker there.
Yep, they're signaling 1st down on the field. Big 1st down.
Good 2nd effort there by Clark. Again, keeping those legs moving.
Big Flooring America 1st down. Flooring America, where friends send friends. Ball now at the 28-yard line of the Raiders. About 7 minutes to go in this ball game.
Rain coming down again.
Jacobs with Clark next to him in the backfield. Jacobs rolls to the left, hits Bundridge, gets taken down.
Lost a yard.
Yep. Doug Jones able to bring him down.
Yeah, it looked like he hurt
some effects there.
Yeah, it looked like he hurt himself a little bit and started to come off and then said, nope, I'm all right. I'll stay out here.
It's a big man to take down like that.
Yeah.
Second and 11 for Chiles. Jacobs hands to Clark. Clark gets around the edge. Heck of a job there by Rickards once again.
Looked like there was going to be room for him to run, but Rickards kind of pursued quickly. Clark now is going to come out. He's holding that left arm down. A lot of times when they do that, it's a shoulder issue. Jalen Jones checks in for him.
So they call that no gain on the play, 3rd and 11. Jalen Jones now in the backfield next to Taylor Jacobs Jr. Jacobs rolls to his right, has a receiver open, hits him, jumps ahead, dives ahead, and close to where the sticks are. That's Cade Fryer's first catch of the night. And there's a water break called on the field after that first down.
Good awareness.
Catch by Cade Fryer.
Good awareness, knowing where he needed to get that first down.
All right, we'll send it to break. Come on back for the exciting finish of this ball game. All right, we're back. 5:13 to go in this ball game. Chiles bringing the ball downfield. 1st and 10. Ball now inside the Esposito's Lawn and Garden Center red zone at the Rickards 18-yard line. Huge completion, got him that first down. Cade Fryer. Jones and Cadet in the backfield next to Taylor Jacobs Jr. Jacobs hits Cadet, who about faces, goes upfield. Dives ahead for a couple yards, gets close to the 15-yard line.
There was a very small margin for error in that play for Chiles. And they fit everything into that very small window for a positive gain on first down there.
Second down. Jalen Jones on the carry, up through the middle. Bring up a 1st and goal for the Timberwolves. Nice 9-yard gain. Ball placed at the Rickards 6-yard line. 4:10 to go.
A little shot of the rain coming down.
Jones biding his time, looking for something to happen. Escape a tackle. Falls at balls. Okay, no fumble. Jalen Jones able to.
Came out when he hit the ground.
Yeah, able to avoid a big loss there. Still, let's see where they spot this thing. There might be. Let's see. No, they'll spot it back at the 6 again. So right about here, could have stumbled and fallen down. Ditton was able to fall ahead. Wiggins able to bring him down, but he fell forward. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal from the 6. Jacobs looking to the end zone, going to keep the ball himself. Gets stacked up. Got to about the 5-yard line. Nice job by the Raiders on covering the receivers. Jacobs had to try to do something with his feet. Got bottled up after a gain of 1. Jacobs with Jalen Jones in the backfield. 3rd and goal. Jones going to take the hand-up fumble. Raiders recover. Bad exchange. Jacoby Gilbert able to fall on that ball, and that might be the ball game for the Raiders.
Got to make sure you stick that in there. I'm wondering if he got indecisive because it looked like he had a read on that one and the option of either handing it or pulling it back out and running it himself. Jalen Jones did not look like he was scrambling back to get to the football, which makes me believe that Jalen Jones thought it was being pulled back out. As if Taylor Jacobs was going to keep it and run it himself.
Carlise Price on the carry, gets the ball up to about the 10-yard line.
Chiles uses their first timeout.
Great job by the Raiders defense playing stout right there. Not making it easy on Chiles. We've got an injured Timberwolf down on the field.
It's Trent Strozier. This is not a good time for him to go down where they need to get a 3-and-out here.
Scoreboard says 3 timeouts remaining for both teams. I'm not sure. I know that's not true for Rickards.
No.
So,
well, we've got 1.
Oh, yep. I would trust our folks over the scoreboard.
Well, we talked about the one timeout they took
right after the break.
Right after at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
So they've used at least 1. So we know it's not 3. That's definitely Chiles' first timeout. So Chiles still has 2 timeouts, so 2nd and 9. 2:16 on the clock. You can still get this back. Again, you get your 3-and-out, you'll get the ball back with plenty of time. You've got to get the stops, though, and that's not going to help you.
Yeah, Henry on the keeper, dives ahead. He's short.
He is short.
A couple yards.
And Chiles will call a timeout again.
2:04 to go in this ball game. Chiles needs a stop here.
Henry looks like he's a little mad at himself for not getting that first down. And I would be willing to bet that Henry's going to go in that huddle on the sideline and tell Leroy Green to call his number once again.
Henry and Price in the backfield. This will be Henry on the keeper. Dives ahead. Floyd tries to stop him, but he's not able to. Henry able to get a huge first down for the Raiders. That Flooring America first down might seal the deal here for the Raiders. Clock continues to roll. We'll get a good look. They did a heck of a job blocking that up for him.
Chiles can only stop it one more time.
Henry hands the Price. Price gets around the edge. Helmet comes off again. I believe that's number 4 for helmet losses for Carlise Price.
Might be a record.
Another Raiders first down.
Do we have the FNR record books?
We'll have to delve into the archives and see.
I'll let you do that. Sounds like a good project for Ben.
So 1st and 10. Ball now at the Raiders' 34-yard line. Clock continues to roll. Henry takes a knee. Here's tonight's Barineau Heating and Air play of the game. Barineau Heating and Air, we'll always be there for you. Get a look here, Carlise Price. Huge run. Dude's faster than high-speed internet. Look at him go. Into the end zone. First score of the game, 61-yard. Carlise Price. Your Barineau Heating and Air player of the game. There's a good look at him. I'm sorry, your play of the game, not player of the game. And that is the ball game, folks. Raiders 14, Timberwolves 7. Huge win for the Raiders after that tough loss at Mosley last week. Get them back into the win column. 3-1 record for the season, heading up to Colquitt County. Let's take a look at the Consolidated Dispatch Agency drive of the game. Consolidated Dispatch Agency, service to others. Look at that run. Tell you what, that was a huge play there for Aaron Johnson. Gets followed up. Come on down, getting them closer to the end zone. We get the handoff. Andreas Green for a big touchdown. Get them the points they needed to get this victory. We'll go ahead and send it to break. We'll come back. We'll have a trophy presentation and set up next week's ball game. It's Friday Night Rivals on Tallahassee's CW. Welcome back to Gene Cox Stadium. It's the Barineau Heating and Air Friday Night Rivals presented by Consolidated Dispatch Agency. That's your final for tonight. Rickards 14, Chiles 7. Let's go down to Emily Peters at midfield with the victorious Rickards Raiders. Emily.
Yes, thank you, Ben. A huge congratulations to the Raiders. They are Barineau Heating and Air's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Consolidated Dispatch Agency champions. A special congratulations to you, Carlise. You're our player of the game. Fantastic job by the whole entire team. Congratulations, guys.
The victorious Raiders. As Emily said, Carlise Price is our Barineau Heating and Air player of the game. Barineau Heating and Air, we will always be there for you. Carlise Price feeling good. Raiders feeling good after a tough loss last week against Mosley. We'll be heading up to Colquitt County next Friday. Next Friday for us, we'll be right here at Gene Cox Stadium. The Chiles Timberwolves will be taking on the Gabi Cougars. Looking forward to that. We will see you next Friday night, 7 o'clock for that. Please join us. Have a great weekend, folks. We will see you next Friday night on Barineau Heating and Air Friday Night Rivals, presented by Consolidated Dispatch Agency on Tallahassee's CW. Good night, everybody.